share this story with you. It's one that's haunted me ever since it happened, and I still have trouble believing it myself. But every word is true, and I hope you find it as chilling as I did. So, it all started a few years ago when a group of my friends and I decided to explore an old abandoned asylum that was rumored to be haunted. We were just a bunch of thrill seekers looking for a good scare. The asylum had been shut down for decades, and people said it was because of the cruel treatments that the patients endured there. The inside was even worse. The air was thick with dust, and every step we took echoed through the empty halls. We found old medical equipment and patient files scattered around, adding to the eerie atmosphere. It was all fun and games until we reached the basement. The basement was where they kept the worst patients, the ones who were subjected to the most inhumane treatments. As soon as we stepped down there, the temperature dropped significantly. Our flashlights flickered, and we started hearing whispers. At first, we thought it was just the wind, but then the whispers turned into cries and screams. Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind us, trapping us inside. We tried to open it, but it wouldn't budge. Panic set in as we realized we were not alone. Shadows moved around us, and we could feel the presence of the spirits of the former patients. They were angry, seeking revenge for what had been done to them. One by one, my friends started to disappear. I would hear a scream, turn around, and find one less person in the room. I was terrified, not knowing what was happening or how to stop it. The spirits were playing with us, tormenting us for their own twisted pleasure. After what felt like hours, I was the only one left. I could hear my friends' voices, calling out to me from the darkness, begging for help. But I couldn't see them, and I didn't know how to save them. The spirits were closing in on me, and I knew it was only a matter of time before they took me too. In a desperate attempt to escape, I started reciting prayers and asking for forgiveness, hoping to appease the spirits. Miraculously, the door flew open, and I ran out of the asylum as fast as I could. I never looked back, but I could still hear the cries of my friends echoing in my ears. That experience changed me. I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, and I started having nightmares about the asylum. I moved to a new apartment, hoping to leave the past behind. But the nightmares followed me. That experience changed me. I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, and I started having nightmares about the asylum. I moved to a new apartment, hoping to leave the past behind. But the nightmares followed me. One day, while exploring a library in an attempt to distract myself, I stumbled upon an old, unpublished manuscript. It looked ancient, and the title was worn off. Intrigued, I took it home and started reading it. The story was about a writer who was haunted by the characters he created. The more I read, the more I felt like the story was about me. Strange things started happening again. I would hear noises in my apartment. Things would move on their own, and I felt an unseen presence around me. I set up cameras and traps, but I could never capture anything. Whatever it was feeding on my fear, growing stronger and more violent each night. One night, I woke up to find the manuscript on my bed, opened to a page that described exactly what was happening to me. It was as if the story was coming to life, and I was living it. I tried to get rid of the manuscript, but it always found its way back to me. So that's my story. Believe it or not, every word is true. And if you ever come across an old manuscript in a library, think twice before taking it home. You never know what kind of horrors it may